On Saturday, September 11th, a student threatened to bomb Centennial Hall. Truman Media Network talked to Sarah Seifert, the chief of the Department of Public Safety. Here's what she had to say.
On September 11th, in the early morning hours, probably around 1:30 a.m., a post was posted on a social media platform called Yik Yak, which is an anonymous social media platform that a lot of college students use. And that threat basically threatened to bomb C Hall on Truman campus on Tuesday of the next week. It warned people to stay out of C Hall, which is Centennial Hall, here on campus on Tuesday. And once I received notification, I actually received a couple emails from Truman students that said this was posted on a social media site. This is very concerning. You know, we're upset. I read the email and immediately attempted to contact Yik Yak through their legal services. I was able to get a hold of them by email and by phone. I worked with their tech experts then to get the phone number of the anonymous post. Once I had the phone number that posted the post on Yik Yak, I went through IT services here at Truman, and with their cooperation and our great partnership here on campus, they were able to tell me that a Truman student had that number registered as theirs, and that it was Patrick Akins. And so once we located where Patrick was living, we went over to the Delta Chi fraternity house and talked with Patrick, let him know that he was under arrest for making the terroristic threats. We actually read him his Miranda rights after we arrested him, and he agreed to talk to us voluntarily, at which time he basically, you know, at first he said he really didn't remember making the statements, but he was sure he did. And then later in our drive to the sheriff's department, he actually asked, you know, if he could ask a question, and we said, you know, absolutely. And he said, you know, does it matter if I remember making that post? And we of course said, you know, it's always better to tell the truth. And Patrick said he remembered making the post, that he didn't mean anyone any harm, and that it was pretty stupid to have been made. So after he made those statements, of course, we continued to the jail. We booked him in and processed him and left him on a 24-hour hold for making a terroristic threat. On Wednesday of last week, he had a hearing in front of the judge, and according to court records, he was released on his own recognizances and then promised to appear at the next court date. The exact post that I have here in my report says, "About to bomb the out of C Hall on Tuesday. Don't come to C Hall." Yik Yak was a wonderful partner in this. They immediately answered my phones. They immediately responded to my emails. And Yik Yak had actually already noticed the threat and banned Mr. Akins from the Yik Yak site because of the threat. The thought process that we had is that within 12 hours, and I'm going to say 12, it's probably more like 13 by the time we had him in custody and actually arrested, because of the timely arrest of the suspect, him admitting that he had done it and that he didn't mean any harm by it. There was no ongoing threat to the university, so we didn't feel that we really needed to alert anyone. DPS actually has great community relationships and partnerships with Res Life. You know, in hindsight, I wish that they would have immediately called either 911 when they saw this threat, or, you know, at least a number and talked to a DPS or a Kirksville Police Department officer. But, you know, it worked out okay. And I think it's because maybe he made a threat for Tuesday, and it wasn't like, tomorrow morning I'm going to do this. So they didn't feel the urgency. But honestly, going to your Res Life staff, calling the police department, calling either Kirksville PD or Truman PD, it all works, because it's all going to end up in the right, the right area and the right people looking into it. We are truly blessed to have good community partners and campus partners.
To learn more about the story, check out the upcoming issue of the Index or head to tmn.truman.edu. This is Anas Alhassani, KTRM Studios.